Can I get a Vegas bomb?
Sorry, I don't have any energy drinks.
Okay, I'll take a vodka Red Bull.
I still don't have any energy drinks.
Why not?
Because here, we're big fans of science and want you to get tired and go home. What can I get you? Drunk? Barbarians, welcome to episode 57 of the Signal Award-winning podcast, Behind Bars, Cocktails, and Wasted Nights. I'm your host, Greg. I've been working as a bartender for over 20 years, and over those years, I've seen a lot. My goal here is to share some of those high and low lights with you. Quick warning, this podcast contains sex, drugs, and some language that isn't suitable for anyone under 21 years of age, so you gotta have some ID. For this one, I interviewed Ryan, the owner of the Bluegrass Lounge in Old Town Arvada, CO. He's a self-proclaimed asshole, but I disagree. He's actually a good human who admittedly teeters on the edge of booze obnoxious. He popped in with Patrick, the beverage director, the night of his interview, and after we all pre-gamed together, I decided to pick his brain on record as well. And as one who's on the lower tier on the totem pole, it's always interesting to hear about the view from the top. Turns out, it ain't so different. So, before we get started, you'll need a drink. For this one, I recommend The Last Word, because Ryan seems to have it often. First, chill a martini or coupe with ice water. Then, into a shaker tin, add equal parts, all 0.75, of the following: fresh squeezed lime juice, gin, green chartreuse, and maraschino liqueur. Shake and strain into your chilled coupe, garnish with a single maraschino cherry, and enjoy. BT dubs, when garnishing with olives, onions, or cherries, the rule is either 1 or 3. Never 2, because that's bad luck. And as always, if you don't have any of that shit lying around, go to Plan B, which is probably Plan A at this point. A double swaller of the Silver Tequila and a Game of Thrones Dragon Tail of the Pow Pow into the breather. Now don't you feel disturbingly better? Good. And now, without further ado, here's Ryan. All right, everybody, welcome to Behind Bars, Cocktails, and Wasted Nights. I'm your host, Greg, and I am here with Ryan. Ryan, welcome. How are you tonight?
Pretty good.
Dude, thanks for coming in tonight. Have you enjoyed the pregame so far?
I have enjoyed the pregame. It's been nice.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
So you are a friend of Patrick's. I just met you tonight. You seem like a pretty cool guy, and you're in the industry as well. So I figured, hey, let's rap about it. What's your thing? Like, what do you do in the service industry?
Yeah, so I'm a part owner of a couple bars. I've been working in the service industry since I was 16. I own the Bluegrass Lounges. There's one in Old Town Arvada. There's one way like northwest Arvada. No one really knows where that area is, so
I'll put the Google Maps link in the show notes.
Yeah. It's a very wealthy area, but nice. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
For our Canadian listeners, just in case you guys come down and you want to meet Ryan, you'll know where to go.
Yeah, look up Candelas.
Do you like... what's the name of it?
Candelas. That's where the other one is.
Oh, okay. Okay. So do you like owning or working in one better? Like, there's a lot of stress in both, but like, what side do you like the most?
Honestly, it kind of depends. So, like, obviously owning your schedule is, a little more flexible, depending on the day, right? I mean, if you got a bunch of people out and you're short on staff, I mean, your life's kind of fucked, honestly. But
you got to take over.
You got to take over,
and you know they're gonna fuck up.
Exactly. But when you're fully staffed, I mean, you can basically fuck around as much as you want. Honestly, I mean, you got to do your job, but in general, once you're doing it, you can leave, you can come and go. It's nice.
Nice. Yeah. And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I'm gonna ask you point blank.
Yeah.
More tail bartending or more tail owning?
Fuck. I'd probably say owning, honestly.
Really? All right.
If I'm being honest.
So you didn't outgrow that phase?
I did not outgrow that phase. For a while, I try to stay away from it, but service industry's tough. You're just around so many people all the time, and how many people meet the people they're fucking around with at work, right? So
that's the pool to fish from.
This is the place that I work at. It's not the easiest thing to stop.
That's one of the things I've always been afraid of about like working in an office job. I'm like, there's gonna be like 20 people that I can't even like come on to. You know what I mean? Like, who am I gonna bang?
Unless you just got a really hot office. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You never fucking know. I mean,
it's like an office like in those movies on the internet. Sorry, I should say documentaries.
Yeah, right.
What happened to the American Family? Jesus. I always think about, like, when I went to school, we studied Oedipus Rex, It's like,
He was cursed. He was separated from his parents at birth. He fulfilled the prophecy of killing his father and marrying his mother, and he stabbed out his eyes. Now it's just going Pornhub, and it's like a guy banging his stepmom, and no one's stabbing out their eyes because you want to see what happens.
Yeah, well, and it seems kind of fun, honestly. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, as long as your dad, trades up, gets a hot stepmom. All right, anyway, we're getting off track. We're getting way off track. So, as an owner, you have to take care of a lot of shit when shit goes south. Do you leave it up to your bartenders, or do you step in and handle it when it goes to a certain level? Do you trust them? Do you give them the authority?
I will. It kind of depends on who's there, what's kind of happening. Definitely, my one in Old Town. I mean, They are basically bartender managers. Everyone who works for me front of house is a bartender. We don't have servers. Everyone knows how to make everything: barista, run food, make drinks, all that kind of shit. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, they'll kick people out. They'll talk to customers, things like that. So I mean, it's for the most part I let them do their thing. But I will say the one that's in the richer area, that one I kind of have to step in a little bit more. People are a little more.
You have to cajole.
Yeah, you gotta kind of, you gotta kill them with kindness, and make sure they're feel like they're being treated the way they're supposed to. Because, oh my God, you're the owner. Oh wow, well, you know what? We love this place, but we're just worried about this. I'm like, oh my God, don't worry about it. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends on where I'm fucking at. If I'm not gonna lie. If it's someone I know really well, which when we're in Old Town,
fuck you.
I know everybody. We've been there for 8 years. It is a super regular bar. I might just walk out and be like, you know what? Honestly, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And they will know that I'm obviously gonna help them out. But they know I'm just a piece of shit asshole. So they know that that's how I talk. And they know that I'm going to go back and buy them some drinks or do something else and fix the problem.
Well, I don't think that makes you an asshole. I think that's what happens when people come in often and you get to really know them, you get familiar, you get comfortable. You will tell them to fuck off and mean it, but it's okay.
For sure. And I'm not saying it makes me an asshole. I'm just saying I am an asshole. So, okay. And they know that very well. So they know that that's how I'm going to react. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that in general doesn't make me one. Everything else I do is what makes me that.
Yeah. Everything else? What do you mean everything else you do makes you an asshole? What kind of things?
Just the way I talk to people and just the things that I do when I'm out at bars and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to say, I'm not that big, piece of shit douchebag that does stuff, but I am definitely the person who, is bringing up shit that you don't want to be brought up. I'm the one who's just making fun of fucking everybody. I'm the one who's walking to the bar who's loud as shit and just getting drunk, but not the most obnoxious, going to get kicked out way, just close enough.
Right, you still have the self-awareness.
Yeah, because, they're all at their jobs just like me. I'm not going to, I'm tipping well on doing that type of stuff, but I am in there doing and saying ridiculous things, that's for sure.
Worst guest you've ever had in your bar that you had to deal with? Treating your employees like shit or just acting how did you... what happened? How did you deal with it?
Oh, man.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
So I probably... I'll do one that was recent.
Okay.
Just because one of my bartenders brought it up the other day, and he was just kind of... You know what? I got two, if that's okay.
It's great. I got two. Yeah, let's go.
Because I got one that's kind of quick, and they're each at one in another bar.
Okay.
So I had one, this was a couple years ago, I think either right before COVID or around COVID. I had a guest who... we have clipboards for our checks, and he, when he was... Normally, you either leave the check on the table or you hand it to your server. He threw it at him.
Oh, no.
And literally tossed it at him, was like, here, take it. I was outside drinking. I wasn't even inside anymore. This was 9:30 at night. We closed at 10 on that day. I walk in, he tells me that, and I go, no fucking way. There's no way that person fucking did that. And he already said, he's like, the chick at the end of the bar brought him in. She's a fucking bitch, too. And so I walked over to him.
Yeah, because you're responsible for who you bring in.
Correct. And so I walked over to him, and I go, did you happen to just throw the check at my bartender? And he's like, what do you mean? I go, it's a simple fucking question. Did you throw this check at my bartender? He's like, well, I kind of toss it to him. I go, could you imagine if I threw this at you right now, how fucking mad you would be? And I was like, honestly, I'm going to pay for your check. Both of you get the fuck out of here.
And don't
It was
back.
Pouring rain, which I loved.
Nice.
And they wanted to sit in their way. I go, you either get out or I'm calling the police. And
yeah,
take you
go out and wait for your Uber.
And honestly, it's going to be assault. So I'm cool with that. I'm going to tell them you threw it really, really hard. And the cameras aren't working, so you're fucked.
Oh, nice.
Next one was, this guy was, that one was great. And now that chick's never come back, so thank God.
I love having the owner or the boss who sticks up for you. There's a lot of places where it's hey,
we gotta be nice to them.
You gotta be nice. You gotta never say no.
Yeah, fuck that. We don't need your money. Fuck you.
Exactly.
And then the other one was, and this was very recent. We had just changed some prices online. We don't print out our menus that quickly because they're expensive nowadays. I don't know if anyone knows how expensive ink is, but it's fucking wild.
Oh yeah, I have 2 printers there because like I ran out of ink and I just bought a new printer.
Yeah, because it comes with ink. Yeah. No, it's actually cheaper to almost do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this guy was pissed. He had 2 rums and a Manhattan, and they were all $1 off on the menu that he looked at, which is paper because he's old, and then the online one was more. And he was fucking pissed.
For the dollar.
For the dollar.
$3.
He had 2 rums that were supposedly $7 a piece, but they were $6 on there, and then a Manhattan that was like 12 or 13. And so he's flipping out. I mean, just going nuts. And so I'm trying to be nice to him. I'm like, dude, I just walked over. You don't have to be a fucking dick. Like, I'm going to help you out. And then he said something to me, and I can never remember what it is. And I looked at him, and I was like, honestly, fuck you. And I looked at him, and I go, it's $3 fucking dollars, dude. And he's like, excuse me? I go, it's $3? I'm going to go over there. I'm just going to buy 2 of your drinks and just come back and give you 1. And man, was he offended. Oh. And he wrote us a review, which we actually got taken down, which I love. But this is a guy who reviewed the Boulder Theater and gave it a 1 star.
Oh, God.
I don't know what a venue could do to you, but it got a 1 star.
Yeah, was it the theater or the act that night? You know
I don't know.
You know what? How could he fucking look at the paper menu, not go on the online menu, but somehow get online and write a review? What the fuck?
Absolutely, right. It's fucking $3. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, I'll take it off. I'm like, you don't have to be a dick. It's not like he said we were trying to steal from him. I'm like,
oh my God.
I would get, it was like a $6 difference, that quite a bit. $1 a drink.
Maybe it was like the 3 drinks. Alcohol's not for everybody.
I mean, he was drinking silver rum, so yeah, probably not.
Oh, God. Yeah, that is gross. Like, what are you, like 18?
Neat silver rum.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Not
trust
rum
me.
Coke, not a rum punch, not like...
Trust me, when I went over there, I'm like, man, I hate this guy without even starting to talk to him.
What are you doing?
It was weird.
I'll have a rum neat.
But you know what's nice? He's never going to come back.
No,
so
never.
And I'm glad I treated him that way, because go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like, I wish more, like, again, you don't need their money. There are other people, and, like,
correct.
Truthfully, they're making everybody else's lives miserable.
Oh, they are. The people around them were kind of upset.
Like, I came in to have a good time, and now I'm uncomfortable because this guy is, like, making a stink.
Yeah, and I'm a big, I mean, you can't talk to my bartenders that way, but you definitely can't fucking talk to me that way. I'm not your slave. I'm barely even working right now. Like, sorry, too bad.
I did one once where I was like pouring some beers, and these guys came up and they asked for the manager who's behind the bar helping out, pour some beers. And like we have this issue where like the lines from the kegs are like it's like 100 feet long and they go upstairs, so a lot of times they foam.
For sure, yeah.
So she's pouring a beer and it's like all foam.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, first night pouring a beer to the manager, and she turns around before she can even talk. I'm like, hold on, have a nice night, guys. What? Get the fuck out. You don't talk to my fucking coworkers like that. He's like, what are you talking? I just want to get a beer. I'm like, I wave security over. I'm like, hey, turn around. Your ride's here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then, like this giant dude from like Czechoslovakia who sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he talks. All right, guys, come with me. It was great. It was so satisfying because I never get to do that because I've always worked in places where it's like, 4 stars and 5 stars in Aspen and like,
Yeah, depending on the place, it's not even a possibility really, unless they're really being shitty. But
but you get
they got to be fucked up. They got to be fucked up.
Yeah, maybe it was the 3. Maybe it's the rum neat. That'll get to you fast. Do you so when you're getting the tail as the owner, are you actually are you making the effort to go to your place or her place, or are you just doing it right there at work?
I'm trying not to do it at work, that's for sure. One of ours has all sorts of offices and upstairs and all sorts of things. The other one has like nowhere to go. No, it's. I would say it's basically at someone else's place. Yeah.
All right, that's good. That's
good. For the most part, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? Because you were in there since 16. Hold on, before we get to the weirdest thing, how did you get in at 16?
So I'm originally from Chicago, like Pat. We grew up together. But so I was a delivery driver at 16. So I've just been in the restaurant industry for that long. And then I kind of moved around a little bit because I got in a little bit of trouble. So I started straight bartending at 21, mainly lying that I had bartended before.
You gotta.
It's kind of hard to get bartending positions. And I ended up just being good at it, which was cool. But yeah, ever since then, it's been either bartending or managing or owning. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, do you like it?
I do. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I almost try to get out of it a little bit and do like different types of sales and stuff. And I was like,
calls you back.
I was like, well, I just make a ton of money doing it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
It's one of those things. I get paid well, and you can take time off, and you're with fun people, and the other people that I own the bars with are super cool. So I mean, it's just one of those things. It's I get when people want to get out of it because it's not working for them. It does work for me. So
Okay, you know what? I'm with you. And I always like the opposite schedule thing, except when it comes to dating, because you can only date people in the service industry.
I know.
You can't date 9-to-5ers who are like mostly
So I have Saturday and Sundays off now.
Okay,
so I
okay.
can
So
do.
you get the weekday people.
But now I don't know what to fucking do on a Saturday.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
Because my whole life I've worked Saturdays.
I had a New Year's Eve off once in like 23 years, and I was like, "What am I going to do?" I stayed home. I didn't know what to do.
No, you're not used to it.
Yeah, it's weird, but I always loved like back before like online banking. Like I could just go to the bank in the middle of the day, go see a movie in the middle of the day. Nobody was there, no traffic.
Yeah.
just out there.
That's true. Mondays, yeah.
And you do work with fun people, and like we were talking about, like you see a lot of weird shit. And I like to do the podcast. I was talking about it with Patrick. Like people got to know what we deal with. Like when we're on the clock, when they're getting paid in their corporate jobs.
Right.
You know, everything's sterilized. The behavior is like, you know, heavily monitored. But like, we fucking deal with shit. Like, I could never go to an office because 5 minutes would be like, hey, sweetie, can you get me a copy of this? You know what I mean? I'd pat her on the ass or something like that, like I do in a bar. I'd be like, oh, God, I'm fired, aren't I? We're going to watch the sexual harassment video, Greg. Are the chicks going to be hot? Let me tell you about harassment. Harassment so much to me, I couldn't wait to grab it again. Sorry, that's terrible. Never tell that joke again. So yeah, weirdness. Give me some weirdness that you wouldn't see in a corporate job that people need to know about.
Well, I'll give you one that just happened. So obviously we got all sorts of different employees, all sorts of different backgrounds and different people and shit they deal with, stuff like that.
Heard.
But we just had a lot of cooks leave recently, which is always obviously a fucking bummer because it's tough to get them. But I just had one and he's been planning on leaving and. He's been planning on leaving to another place anyways. He keeps telling us that, but, he's worked for us forever, so I'm like, fuck it, we'll keep you until that point. But for some reason on Friday, he wanted to leave incredibly early, and I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening to this knows that Fridays we're fucking busy. And he was kind of having a little bit of a mental breakdown. Didn't call me, didn't call my other managers, tried to talk to the kitchen manager to leave. And for some reason, part of his mental breakdown was worrying about the Crusades.
What?
So, yes.
The actual Crusades.
So from a couple thousand years ago?
Yeah, like My Kingdom for a Horse.
Are
like
you familiar?
Saladin? Yeah.
So, so he was worried about something from a couple thousand years ago. He was very upset about it. And so I didn't really know what to do.
Meth must be the shit.
He's sober, which is the wild thing. And so I don't know what it is. And so he all of a sudden left, said something like, try and fire me or something like that. And I basically texted him, was like, dude, you just fucking quit. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And, obviously then all we can think about the rest of the day is the Crusades, right? I mean, the only thing that's on our minds is the Crusades, which is hilarious because it's so long ago. I mean, there's so many worse things that have happened after that.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my favorite things I heard after I said that was one of my chefs from the other restaurant goes, I really hope he doesn't know there was multiple Crusades.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's going to flip a bitch. Because he might just be thinking about the one. There was like 12 of those motherfuckers.
Just send him Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You know what I mean? Just to...
But I just could. I called one of our owners. He's in Hawaii right now, and I go, just so you know, this guy left, and he's like, why? I'm like, it's because of the Crusades. And right away, he's like, what?
Yeah, that's what I was like.
I'm like, no, he's like, which ones? And I was like, the ones that were like forever ago, like really, really long ago. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, no one would even think about it anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a thing that just happened to me this last week.
That is hysterical, man. Like, yeah, you always get like the fun people can also be weird. The call-ins, the excuses, those are the best.
Yeah. Well, that's what we said. We're like, give me a good excuse and you can go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Food poisoning is a great one.
Oh,
you can't even prove it. You know,
16 shots of tequila the night before.
Sure,
we'll give you food
all
poisoning.
sorts of stuff. The Crusades is not the best excuse I've heard. That's for sure.
Completely fired. You couldn't think of a good line.
And now no one can use that one anymore either.
No, yeah, it's out there.
Tough.
Or, well, the listeners in the other states can. Nobody knows. Yeah, when I worked in LA, I would do the schedule, and obviously you have like servers like that are actresses.
Yeah.
So I can't come in Tuesday. I have an audition at 8 p.m. They close at 5.
Yeah,
so you're going to is a casting couch thing. I'll probably see you on the interwebs when I'm Oedipus Rexing. And so you always get crazy kinds of excuses. I had somebody who had a hurt foot. Their foot hurt.
Okay.
Nothing happened. There was no injury. Just the foot hurt.
The foot hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Like, man, like, what else?
Pat's actually called him with that one before.
Oh, yeah? The hurt foot?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Definitely.
my plantar fasciitis was acting up, however you say that. So what's the long-term goal? You want to open up more places, or you want to keep it where you are?
Yeah, we want to open up more stuff. We want to do maybe some other different types of wrestling, but for the most part, we want to try and either franchise or just do more of them. And honestly, we'd like to go into different states.
I was going to say, like Denver or somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, different states, kind of more conservative states would be nice. Honestly, it's a little bit easier to run restaurants. Somewhere that's, Denver's expensive, Colorado's expensive. Go to some places that got easier land to buy.
Wyoming.
Well, I don't know if I want to go to Wyoming. But,
you can probably get like 3 people to crowd the restaurant.
That's true. I mean, it might do well. But yeah, we definitely want to expand with it, do some stuff like that, and then obviously some of the other owners they're into like a million different businesses, so we kind of do like a lot of different stuff.
Okay, so but if you get everybody to like focus in on this, you could like probably pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So are you in a million businesses too, or are you just focused on these two?
I'm basically just focused on this. I do kind of get into some like rental housing and like things like that. I'm getting into that a little bit more. But yeah, as far as for right now, I'm just into this, and I'm honestly okay with that because it pays me enough. I do well enough, and I honestly like taking time off. So getting into too much stuff, all of a sudden you are just fucking stuck.
Right now, I'm overemployed. I get it.
Yeah, and I like being underemployed. I hate working. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate it.
It does suck. So I before we wrap it up, I want to ask you something. I have this theory that everybody in the service industry is also like a creative type.
Okay.
And they have like a secret talent.
Okay.
So I'm guessing you do, and I want to know what it is.
Man, secret talent.
Or like a hobby. Like, do you play? Are you a musician? Are you a writer? Like what's your thing that you do outside of the service? Because everybody's like, you go to New York. What are you? Oh, I'm an actor. So which restaurant do you work at? Like that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which I can't stand as a question, but
I don't know. Honestly, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous because I'm trying to think of like what my special talent would be. I think it's honestly being able to consume insane amounts of alcohol and honestly drugs too, and being completely normal. If you ask any one of my bartenders or anyone that knows me, and I'm not the biggest guy. I mean, he can tell you, right? I'm not 6 feet tall or anything like that.
Right.
But
you're not like a rugby player that's coming in and putting a case of beer down.
Not doing that. Yeah. But I am just a person who can just fucking put shit down, and I can be on 3 to 4 or 5 different types of drugs and just walk around and talk to people like a fucking normal person.
Right.
And it's just one of those, and I don't know what it is. I do drink a lot of water, so folks out there, drink some fucking water.
Drink some water.
You'll be able to do more drugs than alcohol.
Medical advice from Dr. Ryan.
But no, it's like a fucking, I don't know, it's like a mindset of just like, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be getting like super fucked up right now, and so I can just... And obviously, right, everyone's going to black out and do that type of stuff. But in general, I hang out with how many, like, 22-year-olds that work for me. And the next day, they got to call out, and I'm up till 8 or 9.
I'm so mad.
What?
It's like, it's just when they call out and you're partying with them, it's like, you do the crime, you do the time.
Oh, I'll have a bartender, she goes, did you hang out with this person till 8 in the morning? I was like, why? Like, because they just called out. I'm like, I'm fucking here.
Yeah, we were together. Like,
yeah. So I have people that are 10 years younger than me that...
they can't hang.
That I'll... Because I'm one of those night owl people. I'm up till 4, 5, 6 in the morning almost every night.
Oh, yeah. People are like, I had to wake up at 8 in the morning. I'm like, that's when I went to bed and laid there until the sun came up with my eyes open and then played through and went to work again.
I drank some water and I went to work.
Yeah, how are you? I've been awake since 10 o'clock yesterday. I'm fine.
Take a couple shots and you'll feel great, honestly.
There it is.
You can't get a hangover if you're still fucked up.
Folks, there it is. Sage advice from Ryan. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're going to have Ryan back, and we're about to do a Counterpoints episode, which will drop on Patreon in the next few days, so make sure you subscribe to that. And thanks for coming in, Ryan.
Sweet. Appreciate it, man.
Cheers, everybody.
Well, it's last call, so let me give you a tip. If you work at a bar and come to mine after your shift as I'm trying to close up, don't whine to me about how your last table stayed forever and kept you there late. Glass houses, people. Glass houses. Folks, it's been a blast. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And a call to my fellow booze slingers. Send in your stories to cockedtalesandwastednights@gmail.com. You can remain anonymous if you'd like. Thanks for listening, subscribing, downloading, and spreading the word. Don't be afraid to give me a good review, even if you're lying. It really does help build our community of barbarians. And check out my video. Just close it on YouTube. You will laugh, damn it. If you want to support the podcast, you can do that on Patreon. Link is in the show notes. We'll see you next time on Behind Bars, Cocktails, and Wasted Nights. Cheers.